Candid Sports.
What if it was supposed to be an Oakland Raiders dynasty that was still currently happening, and not a New England Patriots one?
Just win, baby.
Until the Oakland Raiders were hacked by the Russians. January 19th, 2002, the Tuck Rule game. What if it had been called a fumble? The Raiders win the divisional playoff game. What if the Raiders had beaten the Steelers in the AFC title game the following week? What if they would have beaten the Rams in the Super Bowl? What if the Raiders don't send Jon Gruden to Tampa Bay? He remains in Oakland. The Raiders become a dynasty. The Patriots don't. Now some of you will say that's a ton of what ifs. And others of you will say that the Gruden-era Raiders had, well, a lot of veteran players on the roster. Not quite the makings of a long-term dynasty. But you're wrong. That's what the Russians want you to think. It's all part of a coordinated effort to ensure Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and the New England Patriots dominate the NFL. The Russians knew that a team coached long-term by Jon Gruden would win championship after championship and achieve long-term success. Raider coaches got a thing for this, apparently. How do the Buccaneers fit into this? That's for the next episode. The loss in the Tuck Rule game sent the Raiders into a tailspin. Not immediately. It led to the shipping off of Jon Gruden and to the hiring of Bill Callahan, which a season after taking the Raiders to the Super Bowl,
He's the dumbest team in America in terms of playing the game,
which led to the coaching carousel. Meanwhile, in New England, it means hacked by the Russians. And as the Russians position themselves to take over the AFC West, since 2002, there's only been 1 year in which the New England Patriots have not won the AFC East. In 2008, because Tom Brady was injured in the season opener against the Kansas City Chiefs. Means hacked by the Russians. Which wouldn't explain why the Patriots would trade Matt Castle, who led the Patriots to an 11-5 record in 2008, and Mike Vrabel to the Kansas City Chiefs. But could explain this. And in Denver, where Josh McDaniels was once the offensive coordinator in New England, then became the head coach of the Broncos, then returned to New England as the offensive coordinator. And Wes Welker was once one of Tom Brady's favorite targets, to being Peyton Manning's third or fourth favorite target in Denver. And the team that drafted Tim Tebow, who was a college and pro teammate of Aaron Hernandez. Means hacked by the Russians. And in Los Angeles, but back when they were in San Diego, the Chargers were the ones to draft Eli Manning. But after refusing to sign with the team, he was traded to the Giants. An Eli Manning-led Chargers team in the AFC would have threatened the Patriots dynasty, though an Eli Manning-led Giants team in the NFC actually threatened the Pats dynasty. Means hacked by the Russians. So if you've ever worn a tracksuit, wanted to wear a tracksuit but didn't think you were cool enough to wear one, ever played the video game John Madden Football, ever lost friendships, relationships, or jobs over the video game, when you hear the term NFL's biggest bust, Jamarcus Russell comes to mind, have seen Ice Cube rocking a Raiders hat, wanted to wear a Raiders hat but didn't think you were cool enough to wear one, then you've probably been hacked by the Russians.